What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and this is the Primetime Angles Live on IG. And boy, oh boy, we got a good show for you today. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about some the NBA draft, my mock 1.0 as well. You know, we don't have a lot of sports to talk about today. We only had a World Series, and we'll only have a World Series tomorrow. So I'm coming up with topics and everything like that. We're going to do the Primetime Angles the way that the Primetime Angles was always supposed to be. I just wanted to make sure that when I got on IG, I just wasn't being like everybody else, wasting your time just talking and, you know, showing y'all what I was eating and all that good stuff and, you know, all that bullshit that we all have to see all the time when we see somebody go live. I swear, it's the biggest waste in the world when you see somebody go live and they talking about absolutely nothing. At least I want to come up in here, help you guys make some money, move forward, get you guys right. You know what it is, man, at the end of the day. And pretty much I don't need a million people following me or anything like that. I just want to make sure that the right people are following me and the right people are making the money as well too, because y'all deserve it, man. You know what I mean? Everybody's always trying to take. I'm trying to give. So it is what it is. But yesterday was kind of a bad day yesterday. I'll keep it real, but it was a moody ass Monday. I keep it honest. Client plays did not go that well. We did get the under 26.5 barely in the Cowboys-Cardinals game. That was absolute, like, oh, man. You know, that was pulling teeth right there because the Cowboys literally gave up 21 points in like an 8-minute span. That was awful. That team right now is not good at all. And it doesn't matter how bad the NFC East is and how they're kind of catering to the Cowboys to win that division. They're going to have to get it together. They got guys dropping touchdowns in the end zone. You know, you got guys missing tackles left and right. You really have, the scheme is just, I'm telling you, bro, the scheme is not there. I don't like the way that things are going right now. McCarthy doesn't seem to be a good fit as a head coach, in my opinion. Or if he's a good fit, whoever he assigned to be the defensive coordinator got to go. But knowing how the Cowboys are ran, it's probably one of Jerry Jones's one of Jerry's good old boys. So we'll have to see how it goes, man. But all in all, though, I really truly do feel that we do have ourselves a pretty good NFL season going and everything like that, and we should be able to keep cashing these tickets and everything like that. We also had the Bills-Chiefs game yesterday, and then once again the Bills disappointed. We had them on the plus 5.5, had them to go over 12.5 in the first quarter yesterday, and they still couldn't do anything to help us out yesterday. Even had them on money line. You know, they get the lead, then they gave up the lead very quickly to the Chiefs. Yeah, and we also had the first quarter over 10 and 10.5, and pretty much, you know, the hook will kill you. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But both games went under, so if you went under in both games, it's good for you. We also got the Cowboys under last night as well. So, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and act like the NFL Monday was very, very good. It's actually started the week off kind of with the sore eye. But you know what? That's why we got today. And it is what it is, man. What you call it? So pretty much let's get into it. I was just trying to get you guys to get on up in here. But you know what? We'll get the show started. People will come on in as we go. So pretty much the NBA draft this year is one of the, I would say probably one of the NBA drafts that you could say is not going to be a good NBA draft. Every year that the clock strikes zero on the NBA draft, I'm talking about from back in 1990, back in 2000, 2010, and now 2020. It always seems to be one of the weaker draft classes of to start the era of, pretty much. The 1990 class was pretty good. The 2000 class was absolutely awful. And 2010, Name 5 people from the top 10 in that group that are still like relevant in the NBA right now. So pretty much, but you know, you got some stars, you got some gems, you got guys that did their thing. But the NBA draft 2020, and pretty much this year is a year where a lot of kids are in the top 10 once again. It reminds me a lot of the 2001 draft, where they had a lot of players who felt like they're ready for the NBA, but they're really not, because a lot of these guys, they did not get through, they didn't finish the college season. Everybody didn't get a great assessment of what these players truly are. It was just more about the hype that comes with the territory with a lot of these guys. They're boasting a lot of these guys off of their high school playing high school game, but this ain't high school in the NBA. This is a tough league, and people have to understand that. Even the G League will make you work for your spot as well too. This is not, how it's been your whole life where you just dominate. Now you with all the dominant players. So pretty much, I don't know if some of these guys are going to be able to transition to the NBA as well as they think that they can. But you know what? These scouts, they're greedy. They want all of them. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Even if the NBA really only has about 15, 20 spots available, they want all of them. So you know what? It's hard to pass up on millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I totally understand that part. But when you're really good at what you do, they'll be able to come get you. And there's other players that have been able to thrive off of that, but it just seems like this new era of players, they just want it all and want it all right now. And they don't even establish themselves in college. They're willing to walk away from the school with a losing record, but talk about they're a top 5 player. If you can't win in college, you're not a top 5 player in my book. But you know what? It's a new day, and you got to just deal with it with the way it is. So pretty much, this is the group that I have here. Phoenix Suns, I got them drafting Devin Vassell from Florida State. This kid is really good, and he can fit into a offense, and he's a polished player. He's a sophomore. That's a bit better than being a freshman. He got 2 years of college basketball in him, and I understand not sticking around at Florida State because Florida State's not a basketball powerhouse. And if you have the skills and the talent and all that good stuff, why stick around and take a chance of getting hurt and everything like that at a school like Florida State? Now, when you play for the North Carolinas and Dukes of the world, that's different when you say you're going to sit back and, want to really win a national championship. But we all know Florida State, they just want to make the tournament. They just want to be one of the top teams in the ACC. They ain't too worried about winning national championships, in my opinion. Even though they keep designing teams to get to that point, why do they always fall short by the time we get to the Sweet 16s? So it is what it is with them. But I do like Vassell. Vassell's a very good player. He has very good size to him as well, too. The guy's 6'8". He's very versatile as well. And I know it's like kind of just going back and going to get Bridges, the kid that they already had that they traded with Philly for, my man out of Villanova. But they need more players like that because I know that you guys have to understand a lot of these guys are moving parts as well, too. And I feel like Devin Vassell is a guy that they can be interchangeable. He can either start or he can be a top guy off the bench early in his career, and I think they need a player like this who's going to commit to defense as well too. The Phoenix Suns look like a brand new team in the bubble and everything like that, and if they commit themselves to playing better defense, then they should be one of the better teams in the NBA next season, possibly an 8th seed. And Devin Vassell, I think, would be a good fit for this team. They don't need to go get a splash player or anything like that. They need to just go get somebody who can fit in and be a contributor to both ends of the floor, offense and defense. And then we have the number 9 pick. I'm going to go have the kid from Germany, Killian Hayes, pull up for the Wizards. I think it's inevitable that Bradley Beal and John Wall are on the way out. I know they might not be out on their way out now, but the thing is, though, I can give it half of a season. Pretty much there's assets that can be, moved around and everything like that as we move forward during the season. But just the future with those two in Washington is probably a good another 12 to 18 months, to be honest with you. And if they get Killian Hayes right now, a guy that they can mentor somewhat up under the wing and get him prepared to take over the team in about a year or two, as they really go ahead and tear down the team and, reset that salary cap a little bit as well too. Pretty much, and you could see the writing was on the wall that, maybe that the Wizards do need to start over because Bill and Wall haven't been happy there for years, man. And you want to have players that want to be here, like seriously be here. So pretty much Killian Hayes, I think, can be the start of the true rebuild of the Washington Wizards. Now, this is my favorite player in the draft, and pretty much he made USC look like killers last year. USC was going to make a big run in the the NCAA tournament, if you, regardless of how you guys feel. I do truly feel like this kid right here is going to be a special player. This guy, Oni Ankuku. This kid is from Chino Hills. He played over at Chino Hills High with the Ball brothers as well too. And he was like, let's just say this: he was the Malone to LaMelo Ball Stockton in a sense, you know what I mean? Or he was, they had a good chemistry going on with their whole thing. These kids had played together. They had been on the big baller team and everything like that together. So they know each other very well. And Nokwe actually went to USC. Him and LaMelo were supposed to go to USC together, but we all know what Pops did. He pulled him out of school and wanted to take him over to Ukraine or Lithuania somewhere and have him play pro sports when he should have been playing high school basketball over in Chino Hills and just listening to what the coach wanted them to do. And, pretty much it set that school back for a bit, but they wound up still getting to the state championship. So pretty much, and I think they won it as well, too. I know that they beat my alumni, Pasadena High School, in the CIF title game, and we thought we could actually beat them, too, because we had somewhat better players as well, too. But this kid right here was a man amongst boys that day, and the way that he played was league. Only other person I saw dominate a high school basketball game in that fashion was Kawhi Leonard, and that was when he played for the CIF championship against Mater Dei. So pretty much this kid right here intrigues me. And the Knicks want a winner, right? They want to get a guy who can help them win basketball games, have a winning mentality, fit right into what they're doing, and, change the culture. You know what I mean? And this is a change the culture type player, in my opinion. He might not be a big superstar right away, but I'm going to tell you like this. They're going to love this kid on Fifth Avenue if he plays the way that he played in high school and at USC. I promise you that. So New York Knicks, that should be your guy right there. This should be your main target here at the 8 spot. And then you got the kid from Israel who plays literally for like the top team in Israel as well too, in the top league. And this is more of a throw it on the wall, see if this kid can stick. The guys who came from Israel over the year, they've been good bench players, like good shooters and smart basketball players, but they're not guys that put your team over the top. But I think this could be different because this guy is coming in with a lot of hype, and I think Detroit will be willing to take a flyer on a kid like this just because they're kind of stacked at that position. But Detroit is, to me, accumulating a lot of assets to make another big deal somewhere down the road. I don't see Blake Griffin being on that roster much longer, to be honest with you. And I think that if you're a top tier team in the NBA, a team that maybe want to get over the top, you might want to invest in somewhat getting a trade done with Detroit so then you can revise Blake Griffin's career, because Blake Griffin still wasn't doing that bad in Detroit. It's just that Detroit is just an irrelevant team in the NBA, and it's that simple right now. So pretty much Denny Adija from Israel, I think he could be the best fit for the Pistons at this point, because I really don't know what to do with the Pistons. I would say the Pistons need to try to figure out a way to get a trade going on draft night and find themselves the right fit. But I think that's what's going to really happen with Detroit. They'll draft a guy like this, but they're going to be making a move with another team, in my opinion. Then this is an intriguing pick to me as well too. Isaac Okoro, small forward from Auburn. He's a freshman, and he's very athletic, and he's a fun player to watch. And I think that this is exactly what the Hawks need. They don't need another shooter. They need somebody who can be on that perimeter and do big things. I don't think Cam's going to work out the way that they thought he was. I know he's a big-time prospect coming out of Duke and all that good stuff, but I think that he'll just wind up being a average NBA player when it's all said and done. But prove me wrong. You're still in your you're still in your youth. You're still 20 years old, so you got plenty of time. But I feel like Isaac Okoro is a guy that shows up for ball games, and it's going to be huge with this kid moving forward, in my opinion. I think that they need that type of skyscraper, big vertical guy that's going to go out there and get his own points. He's not going to depend on just jump shots like a lot of these guys do in the NBA, and he'll be able to still let these guys let the stars be the stars in Collins and Trae Young. So I do think that this could be the best fit for Atlanta moving forward, so they can have a team that could possibly make some noise in the East next season. They had their moments last year as well, too. They had a horrible record, but Atlanta did have their moments early in the season last year, and Trae did show that he can win in this league. And you know what? They went at it with some of the best teams in the league, and some of those games they actually went ahead and won as well, too. And we all know that this team can drop 140 on the board as well, too. They score a lot of points. But the biggest problem with the Hawks is they give up a lot of points as well, too. That's why I think Isaac could be a very good fit for this team, because he plays really good defense as well. You can't play on Auburn if you don't play defense, and that's just facts. All right, so we move on, and we got the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get the most polished player in the draft, and that's going to be Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is the only senior as well, too, and, his game was dominant in college, very dominant in college, and the Cavs need a guy that can be a leader right away, a guy that is already coming from a, winning tradition, and, start a new wave with the Cavs. The Cavs been drafting a lot of young players, and these players aren't really hitting your Q rating, but Garland started playing really well second half of the season before the stoppage and everything like that. And the guard that they drafted the year before, he's pretty good too, but he'll be traded very soon as well too. It might be draft night as well. So pretty much I do like Obi Toppin to play for the Cavaliers, man. I think this will be a very, very good situation for him as well too. So there it is, man. I'm gonna go ahead and put Obi Toppin up here for forward center, Dayton, and this is exactly what the Cavs need. They need a guy who can help them lead, who can help lead and be an actual, asset to the team, and not just be somebody they teaching on the job. You know what I mean? So there it is with the Cavs. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of things. We're getting down to the top four here. And in the top four, I really do truly like Tyrese Halliburton. I think that this will be a great fit for the Bulls, young Bulls, young puppy Bulls. Kobe White should be able to thrive with a guy like this. Halliburton, 6'5", 6'6", hell of a point guard, can shoot threes as well too. Actually, he's a two guard. They want to make him a point guard, but he's 6'5". So why don't you just let him be a natural two guard, and him and White can go ahead and make a brand new backcourt there in Chicago, and start getting this team moving forward. You know what I mean? And getting them much better. So I think that Tyrese Halliburton, just because these top three players probably will not be out of the top three, but if one of these top three players do fall, I could see somebody like, say, this kid Anthony Edwards at number 1 dropping to the Bulls. But I can see the Bulls making a draft day deal as well too for the player. But Tyrese Halliburton is the next best option after Edwards here at this position, in my opinion. I think that he had a great season over at Iowa State this year, a school that you're unlikely to have a star stud like this one. Last time they had a draft pick this high, it was Marcus Fizer. And guess where he was drafted to? The Chicago Bulls. But that didn't work out too well. But that was a different time, a different era. Oh, but it was in the year 2000 as well too. So sorry about that, Chicago fans. Pretty much. But Tyrese Halliburton is no Marcus Fizer. It's a different story with him. Marcus Fizer was an undersized power forward, and they were trying to fit. At that time, the NBA was trying to find a new Charles Barkley, and it just wasn't working out in that regard. So pretty much. This one right here, Tyrese Halliburton, I think this will be a good deal. But I can see the Bulls as some players, you know what I mean? Some draft players. They're gonna maybe draft for somebody, and somebody may draft for them as well too. So be on the lookout for that one as well too. And now let's get to the top 3. Charlotte Hornets select LaMelo Ball. The reason why I'm putting LaMelo on the Hornets is because Jordan's gonna want to torture him real quick for his dad saying that he could beat him. No, I'm just kidding. This is why the Hornets and LaMelo Ball are a perfect fit. The Charlotte Hornets need to sell tickets. Michael Jordan is not going to walk out there and play with them any night ever. Okay? Michael Jordan, to me, is the biggest star on the team. That's bad. When your executive is the biggest star on your basketball team. the Charlotte Hornets need a hype job somewhat. A guy that they can lean on, a guy that they can do some advertisements behind, all that good stuff. And I think this guy fits the bill. LaMelo Ball, they've been preparing this kid for the NBA since he was 12 years old. And as Daddy said, he may be the best one. And after evaluating all three of them, I think he is the best one. Even though I feel like Lonzo is the most polished all-around one out the group. But, things just haven't worked out in the NBA because he's too distracted off the court. That's why it just didn't work out, because he's a guy who had to focus so hard on basketball his whole life. And then when he got to break away from his dad for 5 minutes, he starts living and, life is fun. And I want to be a 20-year-old. And, but you've made the choice to commit yourself to the NBA. So I think he's going to be really good by the time he gets out of New Orleans. You know what I mean? And I think the next stop for him could be Chicago or New York as well, too. But let's stick to Little Bro. And I think what happens here with Little Bro is that Little Bro gets drafted by the Hornets to be the face of the franchise. And I know that sounds absolutely insane right now, but I think this will work for the Charlotte Hornets because they can have a guy that's willing to, get others involved. He has a pretty nice touch as well, too. And the guy just goes out there and plays. He balls. You know what I mean? And, they need a guy like this with a team that has some pretty good athletes as well, too. They just need a big name to kind of just give them a little bit of attention. And if they get a little bit of attention, I think they can actually be winning games. You have to understand, this team was only one game out of being in the bubble. They actually had a better record than the Wizards as well, too. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Charlotte needs a face. They need a splashy star, and I think LaMelo Ball fits the bill. And they could do some things with him for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons as well, in my opinion. I know it seems like I'm coattailing to LaMelo, but LaMelo's the one that I know the best out of this whole group. Period. Point blank. I've been watching LaMelo for the last 6, 7 years. The rest of these guys, I've probably been watching them for the last 2 or 3 years. Maybe just started watching them this season. But LaMelo is a special player, and I think that the hype job, the star power is perfect for the Charlotte Hornets. It will help them sell. It will have an increase in season ticket sales, in my opinion. And that's what means the most to Michael Jordan at this point in his, his basketball journey. You know what I mean? Filling them seats up, because that was the promise he made when he came in to buy the team as well, too. All right. So Charlotte Hornets take LaMelo Ball. And then this is, to me, the most intriguing player in the draft. Could be the most, it could be the decade transcending star of the group as well, too. James Wiseman. There's not many things that he does wrong, and he's 7'1" as well, too. He could have had one of the best seasons in college basketball if he wasn't mired by, silly AAU coaches who were just so selfish and so greedy and so just, misguide these kids, man, and they mess them up, man, and pretty much, the NCAA wasn't having it. They looked up and said, Memphis, you're not going to do this again to us, man. We let Calipari do this with Derrick Rose, with my man Tariq Evans. We let them do this for years, where they were bringing in all these top players and everything like that. You playing a mid-major. We consider your conference mid-major. How the hell did you get 5 All-Americans to come over here and play for you? Because all the kids knew Penny their whole life. No. Let's go ahead and look at some accounts, and then, these street agents and everything get everybody in trouble. And that's how it always goes. It's that simple. So pretty much with that, James Wiseman got messed up, and now, pretty much had to go work it out and get ready for the draft. I think James Wiseman will be able to help the Warriors get right back into Warrior shape, because he's 7'1" and he's very versatile. He can shoot as well, too, and he can play within that he can play within that offense. They were able to have JaVale McGee be the starting center for years. And, JaVale wasn't doing nothing but running up and down the court, doing spaceman stuff. So, pretty much, I think James Wiseman could be a perfect fit for the Golden State Warriors, and he could really put them over the top if he's able to come in and just do the small things. He can get them 14, 15 points at a position that is much needed on their team. But do they want to be a small ball team still? I think that they might want to look at it that you might want to, size up with the Lakers accordingly, because the Lakers like to have big. So you bring out your big, then this can give, a bit of a break for Draymond as well, too. Draymond can lead a little bit more, and then, this can open up more passing lanes and things of that nature, and the Warriors can probably get back to what the Warriors were doing if they are going to be full strength. So James Wiseman, I feel like, can make a big difference with the Warriors, would make the big difference with the Warriors, and they should lock it in. James Wiseman to the Warriors. I think that's inevitable, to be honest with you. But James Wiseman, to me, really is the number one pick in the draft, and if I was going to really, we'll have another one as well too, because I'm gonna watch more tape and really see if these guys, watch more tape, understand this thing a little bit more, because there might be some guys that didn't make the top 10 today that are gonna be in my top 10 next week. You know what I mean? So pretty much, I'm putting Anthony Edwards here because he's the consensus number one pick, but that doesn't mean anything to me, because that kid did not play well in college. He played well. He had moments, but the team was awful. This reminds me a lot of Markelle Fultz, but he's a much bigger guy than Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz was hurt most of that season as well, too. Anthony Edwards was just kind of given a team where they looked at him to be the absolute alpha of the squad, and go out here and scores 25, 30 points, and then we'll try to stay in games. But Georgia was awful last season, to be honest with you. And to me, transcending players that change the game, change the whole culture of your school, and they can turn that school into a winner right away. That did not happen with Georgia. I just feel like that's usually where guys come into the league and they can become high-end role players. They're not going to be superstars as they're trying to put them out to be. A superstar needs to be drafted at number one, but over the last few years, we haven't been able to really latch that in accordingly. And once again, it's a overshoot in my opinion. And I do agree. There's going to be a lot of trades on draft night. You guys have to bear with it, But these, how I feel, are the best fits. The reason why I'm putting Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves is because he's a two guard, and it would be great to have him be there with D'Angelo Russell and with Cat. But really, honestly, the smarter choice is for the Wolves to pick James Wiseman so they can prepare Cat to be traded so they can get some assets for him. Yeah, I know they brought in D'Angelo so they can have their 1-2 punch back from high school and everything like that. But Karl Anthony Towns has not been happy for a long time in Minnesota. And I think that if you were somebody like Brooklyn or somebody like the Knicks or something of that nature, you would try to make somewhat of a draft day deal for this guy. You know what I mean? But you would have to give up something. But I think that it's well worth it for Cat as well, too, to get him back east. And Wiseman would be the wiser choice because that could be an automatic fill-in right there for him as well, too. But that's probably not going to happen. So that's why I have Wiseman on the Warriors, and then he just puts them over the top, and then they can regret that years later. So Anthony Edwards, I think he is the solid choice, but it just doesn't make sense to me because they got the kid Culver there as well, too, that they drafted from Texas Tech last year. But they said that he wasn't game ready yet. Then why run to the NBA if you're not ready yet? So that makes no sense to me in a sense. So they're doing exactly what the Timberwolves always do. They draft at the same position for 5-6 years straight and think they got something right. First it was the center, then it was the power forward, then it was the small forward, then it was the point guard, now it's the two guard. So figure it out, Minnesota, because you have one of the most talented players in the league and you wasting his prime as is. And now you got one of the better scorers in the league as well, too. You have to make this move happen if you want to have a potent backcourt. So pretty much it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be, and that's my top 10 for this week. But we're going to go ahead and watch some film, and this list will change. I'll be dead honest with you, and pretty much once I go ahead and look at some more tape and everything like that. But this is 1.0, and and we go from there. So pretty much now let's jump into some college football. We are, jumping in the DeLorean right now and seeing what the future holds. The AAC Bets List for this week, I like the under 51 with the Tulsa, South Florida game. Tulsa hasn't played much. They've been dealing with the bug and, the the Rona and all that good stuff. So, they've had a couple of their games postponed and everything like that. And USF has just been absolutely awful. So, pretty much, I would say that this game should go under. Tulsa will probably run away with it, but I don't know if Tulsa can cover that big spread. You don't give teams like Tulsa big spreads like that and say, yeah, they should go ahead and take care of their business today, because they're not one of those type of teams. They giving them double-digit spread. I don't know. I know South Florida's bad, but they ain't that bad. You know what I mean? So pretty much under 51, Tulsa, South Florida, because if they do pretty much have their way, Tulsa, they wouldn't go over, the game wouldn't go over 51. It'd be like a 31-10 finish or something of that nature. That's how I feel. Both teams are going to eat up the clock, make a lot of mistakes. We'll get the under 51 here. Let's see how it shakes out. And hopefully we can get a little rainstorm in there as well, too. All right, so we got Tempo, and Temple has themselves a doozy this week as well. They're playing against Memphis. Memphis coming off of a huge win over UCF last week, and that was a big win for them. So pretty much we're gonna take Temple this week. I think Temple should be able to catch the Tigers slipping, because last year they had a hell of a game. Memphis wound up winning the game, but Temple was in the lead, looking good and covered, and pretty much they have that on their mind this season as well too. They got the type of defense that can keep Memphis in check and keep Memphis honest. So I think Temple has a big shot in this game to cover, so that's why I'm taking them with the plus 13.5. Then we got Tulane and Memphis going at it. This is over 7. It's not Tulane and Memphis. It's Tulane and UCF. Sorry about that. So I'll have to fix that one up, but it's going to be UCF and over 72.5 with Tulane and UCF this week. I think that's what happens there, is that you got a good team in UCF that, had a bad loss last week, and they're going to still score their 45, 50 points a game. Tulane has showed that they're a scoring team as well this season as well. They should get over at least 28 points. So this is a good game to bet the total team bet as well too. So there it is, over 72.5, Tulane and UCF. Remember, Temple is playing Memphis, Tulane is playing UCF. That is my bad, okay? So here we are. We got the plus 14 on Navy. They're playing against Houston at home. Houston lost a tough one last week against BYU, but BYU's playing some of the best football in the nation right now. But they need to get challenged as well too. If they play against one of the upper echelon teams, they could have some issues. Even if they play against one of the top Mountain West teams, they'll have some issues. So I do like Navy this week. I think Navy does cover. 2 touchdowns is a bit too much for me in this game, with Navy actually playing some of their better football of the season. I think what they do is they shorten the game here, and they turn it into a good old black and blue game. So we'll see how it goes. Plus 14, Navy, let's get it. And then we got Cincinnati, who is in the top 5 now, and they had last week off, and this week they're back, and they have themselves a very tough game going against the SMU Mustangs, and SMU is playing some pretty damn good football at this point. They got a good win over Memphis as well in conference, so they're looking to get another big win in conference play over Cincinnati, who's seen as the other elite team in the conference this year. So what we do here is we take Cincinnati, because I think Cincinnati will be up for it. This team should be well rested. They haven't been playing as much as everybody else, so they should be very rested and ready to roll and cash out that plus 120. We get a top 5 team on a dog bet. I know that's not always a great thing, but you know what? Let's go ahead and ride the value and go from there. All right, so there it is with that, and we move forward, and let's talk about the ACC and the ACC. Boy, oh boy. We got FSU money line plus 165. FSU is going to be playing in a game that I really truly think they should be able to win, to be honest with you. They just got a great win last week against North Carolina, who was ranked number 5 in the nation. And they come into this game this week going against a team that's kind of middling. So I think what happens here is Florida State, they double back, get themselves a good, solid win here and move forward, man, and get us home, man. Plus 165 Florida State. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we got Syracuse, who's the victim of the week, or as they would say in the old days in boxing when Joe Louis was the heavyweight champion, the bum of the month, the bum of the week. Somewhat because it seems like the Clemson's like a young Joe Louis, and the ACC is just a bunch of bums compared to them. But it's still a great conference, but they're making it a boring conference at the same time too. So pretty much, I think Syracuse covers the 46. I know this is stretching it a bit too after the team just beat down Georgia Tech 73-7. Was it Georgia Tech that beat down like that 73-7? Yeah, it was awful. Regardless, it was awful. I know I had it, so it was downright just atrocious that a team can score 50 points at the half. You know what I mean, and just really not even blink. So plus 46 this week on Syracuse. Keep the ball away. Keep it away. Play keep away as long as you can, and then hopefully you can get something home with that. And then we have VTech. VTech's playing against Wake Forest this week. I think that they should be able to win this game as well too. So I'm taking them with the 9.5 this week. They should win by 10 or better. They just got out to a bad start against North Carolina, but they should have won that game. To be honest with you, they played really good football that day, and they were the more talented team every time I was looking up. But what happened was North Carolina took advantage of being at home that day, and Virginia Tech hadn't really played any games, so they took advantage of that. I think Virginia Tech is now in shape the right way, and I think they can go ahead and win this game. And so there it is. And then we have the over 43 Notre Dame Pitt, and pretty much Notre Dame and Pitt. This one should be good. I'm going with the over 43 here. I expect Notre Dame to score some points here. I expect Pitt to score some points here as well too. Good old rivalry game from back in the day. Pitt and Notre Dame used to play each other like every season. They used to be a part of the permanent schedule, somewhat like USC and Stanford and Michigan. So pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. So I'm going with the over 43, Notre Dame, Pitt. It's going to be much better than it looks on paper. It's going to be a close game, to be honest with you. And then we got the under 56, BCG Tech. This one should be a really, really good game. I think what happens here is that BC is going to figure out a way to shorten the game, eat up the clock, and not get into a track meet with Georgia Tech. Because Georgia Tech is the type of team, they build everything off of momentum. So pretty much with that, I think what happens here is that BC, G-Tech, this game winds up staying under, and it should be a damn good game, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But BC's been playing some good football as well, too. And, pretty much Georgia Tech has been, you can see that Georgia Tech is growing as they go. Even though, they had a good win against Louisville. But, they took 2 steps back against Clemson, because they're just not there yet. But they try. They at least show up. You know what I mean? So, but they didn't show up last week. But it's okay because it was Clemson. So, under 56, BCG Tech. And let's see how it checks out. And I thought I had put it up here, but I have the plus 11.5 on Virginia in the Miami game as well, too. Miami and Virginia played a hell of a game last year on a Friday night. And, we all know that Virginia was a better team last season, and it's different this year. But I truly do think that in this one right here, that Virginia will make it close. They may not win the game, but they're going to put a little bit of a scare into Miami this week. You know what I mean? Even though Miami, everybody feels like Miami's back and everything like that. Still, Virginia is always a team that comes out and they play Miami really tough. So we'll see how it goes. Plus 11.5 on Virginia. When I go ahead and release the vid, I'll make sure to put the whole complete list in there as well too. I thought I had put this in there, but damn, I missed it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm so sorry. But yeah, plus 11.5 on Virginia. All right, so today's big game. The World Series, Game 1, at 4. Coverage starts at 4:30 today, and I'm guessing the game starts at 5. We got Clayton Kershaw, Clay K, on the mound, and we have for the Dodgers, and then we have Tyler Glass now on the mound for the Rays. This game is going to be epic because you got a lot of people who have ties to each other. First and foremost, the Dodgers boss used to run the Rays and pretty much was there when the Rays became a pretty good team. He had David Price and Evan Longoria and all those guys who wound up being pretty good players for other teams as well too. This team actually did make it to the World Series as well. So, but Friedman got to LA, and since Friedman's been in LA, I think he's been here 5 years. He's been to the World Series 3 times, but no rings. And pretty much this is the time. This is a time for the Dodgers to put up or shut up, to be honest with you. But a lot of people quietly love the Rays as well too. The Rays are a scrappy gang. They grinders. They go at it. That's what they do. So pretty much what we do here is we got to play it smart. This is game one. This is game one. Let's tread lightly a bit here and not put ourselves in a position where, we gung-ho on one team, because this is going to be a long series. And definitely going to be a long series because both teams have superior pitching. And then both teams have really timely hitting as well too. So I would say you can expect maybe more under games than over games, but tonight's game is going to be different because we got rested players, and we got two teams going at each other that don't play each other a lot. So the scouting report is not as in depth as it was with the other squads. So this is going to be a pretty fun game. It's going to be a chess match in a sense. So this is where I'm going with this one, man. These are my bets for the night, man. These are my bets. And I only got 4 of them, but no score first inning. I expect the pitchers to be dueling, get 1-2-3, 1-2-3, on both sides just to get things started. You know what I mean? Because that's usually how the World Series goes. You don't get a big run early in the World Series. You got those nerves. You got that tension. You got people up there really, overthinking things a little bit the first at-bats. So, while we say this, we'll go ahead and be 0-0 by the time we get to the second inning. So, no score first inning. That's a -120 bet as well, too. It may get a little bit higher, so you might want to grab it now. And then we have the over 4 first 5 innings. So I said no score in the first inning, but then we get some scores in the second, third, fourth, and fifth inning. I think that over 5 is not that hard of a obstacle to get. I think that this could be 3-2 by the time we get to the 6th inning. Either or, Rays or Dodgers, it don't matter. Just be over 4 runs. That's all I ask for. And if you get to 4, it's cool because it's a cancel out and it comes right back. And then we have the over 7.5. We got the gift and the curse, the hook itself. So we need 8 runs to go ahead and cash that ticket. I think that is very possible, but I can feel the late run. I feel the runs coming late in the game. So that's why I'm taking the over 7.5 here as well. So let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. If we don't get the over 4, we can at least try to get the over 7.5. Come on, Rays, Dodgers, we want some offense tonight. We want some excitement tonight. We want 400-foot homers tonight. We want triples, doubles, singles. Come on. All right, so we got over 7.5, over 4. And then Rays under 3.5 team total. I don't see the Rays scoring a lot of points tonight. So I think you guys already know where I'm leaning to. But pretty much I don't see the Rays scoring a lot of runs tonight. Under 3.5 runs team total tonight. And I know I'm asking for the over, but I'm asking for this game to finish up 5-3 Dodgers. But you know what? All in all, I'm expecting a great game tonight. And this is just more of a, it's a prop play. And we'll see how it goes. But man, oh man, I look forward to this one, man. I'm glad that I was able to call this one. And pretty much I'm going to be locked in on this one. Every pitch has been magnified now. So there it is. Those are our World Series Game 1 bets for today. You guys can play them or fade them. Do what you like with them. But at the end of the day, somebody going to be cashing some tickets. All right, so man, I'm telling you guys, thank you so much. If we wasn't as filled up today, but I do understand everybody is getting back into the flow of things. And, the pandemic hopefully is clearing up just a bit and getting everybody back to regular life as well, too. But if you missed the show, make sure you tune in to the YouTube, or you guys can watch the show on IGTV and go from there. But always make sure you retweet and share the show as well, too. don't leave other people out. See if they enjoy the wave as well too. You know what I mean? So pretty much we do have one more segment, but I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna bounce up out of here. So pretty much I thank you guys very much for tuning in. And if you are sticking around, let's go ahead and talk about Presque Downs over in Erie, PA. And we got a first timer here in race 3, $36,000 maiden special weight. We got a horse by the name of Woodchuck. Woodchuck is coming in here first timer. Very good horse, very good pedigree as well too. The numbers have really really stand out in this field as well too. So I like Woodchuck. I'm gonna go ahead and pair Woodchuck up with the 496. We box it up 4679, or we can go ahead and key it 7469. And then we have race 8. This is my best value of the day. I'm gonna go with the horse by the name of My Day 2. My Day 2 is a very, very good looking horse. Has the best figures out the group in my opinion. And I think this horse gets it home. I'm so confident in this horse that I had the horse singled in leg 3 of the pick 4. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully I can keep that 9-2 number or get it a little bit higher. But regardless of anything, cast that damn ticket. My Day 2. All right, so we'll pair this horse with the 4, the 6, and the 7. We're going to go ahead and you box it up 4, 5, 6, 7, or you key it 5, 4, 6, 7. All right, we move on, and we got a claiming race at the end of the day. In the nightcap, I'm going to go with the horse by the name of Spinnin' Joe. And Spinnin' Joe looks like a really, really good horse here. The horse is 8-1 morning line as is, and I think that this should trigger a nice payout on the pick 4 as well too late in the day. So I'm gonna be playing the whole card here at Presque Downs, but I think this could trigger the winner, a big winner in the pick 4, and it has before because my man Chaz remembers what we did last year over at Presque. We hit a pick 4 and a pick 5, and we hit the pick 5 with and the funny part about it was both of them hit for big dollars. But the best part about it was we had the nightcap with the horse that was 25-1 as the winner, and that horse pretty much won on a predicament as well too. The horse won by actually disqualification. So we wound up cleaning up pretty nice that day at this little track in Erie, PA. That's why I love playing this track, because big things can happen. These horses are very competitive, and all these races are pretty much wide open in a sense. So the top horses I have here 4, 2, 9, 7, 8, and we can go ahead and box it up like this: 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, or you guys can key it 2, 4, 7, 8, 9 for the super high 5. Hopefully we can get that one home too. As I said before, we did get it home on it was Saturday. We got it home $1,900. But we also got the or it was Friday, but we got it home this weekend though, the super high 5 over at Santa Anita. We also hit a pick 4, but the pick 4 was like for $53, and I had a $40 investment in it. So there's nothing to brag about there with the $13 profit. So pretty much it is what it is with that. But our late pick 4 is going to work like this. We're going 3 deep, but we have a combination. This is a combo. When you see 1A and 1, that means that you have both horses that you can bet on to win. So pretty much both horses are automatically there for you to win on. You know what I mean? So if either or gets in, you cash a ticket. And then we have the 5 and the 7 as well too. The 7 is our key horse here, so hopefully we can get this one home, and the horse keeps its number as well too at 7-2. Then we have leg 2 with the 4, 5, 7. I think this is a really good group, and these 3 horses are probably the one of them is going to win the race. So we'll see how it goes. 4, 5, 7, do your work. And then we got leg 3, as I said before. I'm giving you a valuable single here. Hopefully this horse comes in at 92 or better, and then we go ahead and win this race, and you guys go ahead and put your nice $50 to $100 down on that win bet, and you'll thank me later. So there it is on the 5 horse, and let's go see how it shakes out with that. And then we have leg 4, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9 here. 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be a good one right here as well. We're going 5 deep, and just like we are with our super high 5. So if any of those horses get in and we have taking care of our business in the previous 3 races, I expect a nice payout on the pick four being maybe well over $250 at least. And I say, you guys say nice payout, $250. And I'm telling you, on a $22.50 investment, that is some good money. You know what I mean? Because that's how the track works. You know, you can either bet it big or you can bet it small. Regardless, you cash your tickets. Okay. So there it is with the show today. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know I went a little bit longer today, but we did have the NBA draft preview for you guys, and we'll have that back next week for you. Tomorrow we're going to get into the Big 12 conference bets list, and then we're going to get into the Conference USA as well too. We're going to talk about some of the top teams in the NFL, where they stand at against the spread as well. And then also we got the World Series once again tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm trying to figure out what track it's going to be, but we'll have another racetrack for you tomorrow that's not going to be Presque Isle Down. It's just going to be if Belmont's running tomorrow, I'll throw Belmont in here tomorrow, and we'll just go from there. So I thank you guys very much for tuning in, and make sure you guys retweet, share, whatever you have to do to get this thing going in the right direction, because we've been going nowhere but up, and I want to continue that wave, okay? So once again, this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live on IG with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I'll be right back at you tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the Premier Sports Betting Show. You guys stay cool. You guys stay groovy. I'll be back to you, and you guys look out for my tweets.